We just witnessed the wildest start to an NBA season ever. History was made.
The first father-son duo to play together.
Bodies were caught. Players were ejected.
Does it again, and Daniels to the basket and gets dropped. And Dyson Daniels.
Fights broke out.
Dumping it down to Wemby. He falls. Brooks is there.
Records were shattered.
Thompson free. Good.
And of course, Draymond Green getting technical fouls as usual.
Just kept coming, but don't keep playing.
These are just some of the many amazing things that happened in the first week of the 2024-25 season. So grab a snack, sit back and enjoy all the madness that the NBA has brought to us so far. Tuesday, opening night cinema. After more than 2 months of no basketball, Summer League and preseason don't count cause they're fucking trash. The NBA season was finally back and we were starting off in TD Garden with the defending champ Boston Celtics facing off against the New York Knicks. Before tip-off, the Celtics had a ring ceremony celebrating their latest addition to their franchise legacy. But despite coming off a championship, they still had something to prove after all the disrespect they've been getting. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the haters. The Celtics came out absolutely on fire, going up by 19 points in the first quarter. One player who'd been getting hella disrespected was of course Jason Tatum. Man looked like he was on a mission, scoring 15 points on insane shooting efficiency in the first quarter alone. He finished the game with 37 points, 10 assists, and 4 rebounds, hitting 14 of 18 shots, almost 80% from the field. This game was never close. The Celtics annihilated the Knicks and tied a record for the most 3-pointers made in a single NBA game with 29 threes. They would have broken it had they not braked every single shot in the last 8 minutes. The Knicks didn't have a terrible game though. Brunson put up 22 points, but their newest addition, Big Purr, didn't exactly deliver, putting up a bit of a stinker. On the other side of the country in California, the Lakers were looking to win their first season opening game in over 7 years. As a Lakers fan myself, I was super excited to see how the new head coach JJ Redick would lead the team, and of course the father-son duo of LeBron and Bronny playing in an actual game together. And the Lakers did not disappoint, taking down the Wolves 110-103. Anthony Davis had a monster night, dropping 36 points, 16 boards, and 4 assists. He was standing his ground, talking his shit and cooking Rudy Gobert.
The roller, Gobert, rejected! Anthony Davis! Davis, watched by Gobert. Davis makes his move, shot clock winding down, connects!
He even took some shots at Gobert in the post-game interview.
On those 2 blocks, is it about just identifying where the shot taker is going to be?
The defensive player of the year type stuff.
Yes, it is. All right, and I agree.
But a highlight of the night came midway through the second quarter. History was made as LeBron and Bronny became the first father and son duo sharing the floor together in the NBA. Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr., the first father-son duo in pro sports history, were also in attendance to witness the milestone. Playing alongside your son is an insane achievement, and the fact that it's LeBron James, one of the greatest if not the greatest players in NBA history, makes the moment even more iconic. Wednesday, absolute chaos. Unfortunately, the first injury of the season struck just before the end of the first quarter in the Pacers-Pistons game when James Wiseman tore his Achilles.
Back from 12-4. Oh.
Prayers up for him. The Pistons wanted to win so badly they even threw in an extra player by mistake. I've honestly never seen anything like that before, but even with the extra help, they still couldn't pull off the win as Tyrese Halliburton, who went over 8 from 3, hit the dagger 3-pointer to seal the game. Up in the north, Emmanuel Quickley and Grady Dick were heating up, carrying the Raptors through the first half. Check out this beautiful finish by Dick.
To get stops now and get back out in transition.
However, Quickley took a hard fall chasing a rebound in the second quarter and he was eventually headed to the locker room. Without him on the floor and Scotty Barnes putting up a special performance, the Dinosaurs were no match for the Cavs, ending in a blowout loss. Down in Atlanta, things got intense, tensions were high, and the game turned a bit too physical towards the end.
He does it again, and Daniels to the basket and gets dropped. And Dyson Daniels going after.
Meanwhile, Trae Young was busy tearing up the Nets defense, finishing with 30 points, 12 assists, and 5 rebounds, securing the first dub of the season for the Hawks. Over in Philly, Tyrese Maxey had to take on the duo of Giannis and Dame alone because both PG and Embiid were hurt for their season debut. As expected, Giannis was literally feasting in the paint on both ends of the floor. Dunks, and-ones, blocks. And beyond the arc, Dame Time and Darvin Ham's boyfriend were lighting it up, hitting a combined 10 of 17 3-pointers.
Lillard long distance. Got him. Damian Lillard from way downtown.
Speaking of shooting, Ja Morant was finally back and reminded everyone how good he actually is. He was doing athletic acrobatic stuff that nobody other than Ja can do.
10 to shoot. Two-man game with Bane. Oh, wow. Going behind the back, attacking, hanging, and hitting!
But what Brandon Miller and Jalen Green can do was to throw down insane dunks and catch bodies.
Ball. The Miller elevates and stuffs it down.
And LaMelo Ball, doing what he does best, putting on a show. He led the Hornets to their first win of the season with 34 points. And we can't forget about Trey Man too, aka Baby Allen Iverson.
Pullback three there by Mann.
How gutsy is Trey Man?
Remember when people doubted the Warriors before the season even started? They crushed the Trailblazers with Curry chilling on the bench for the entire fourth quarter. But the real star of the night was none other than Buddy Hield. He dropped 22 points on 5 of 7 from deep in just 14 minutes. And as for Draymond Green, well, he was up to his usual antics.
He just kept coming, but no, don't keep.
The best game of the night was definitely the final showdown between the Suns and the Clippers. This one was an absolute classic to say the least. Without Kawhi and PG, it was up to Harden to run the show, and he was looking like vintage Harden, cooking the Suns like it was 2018. KD and Harden were going back and forth, with less than 1 minute left on the clock. Harden drew a foul after crossing up KD. KD answered right back, hitting a clutch shot over 2 defenders to tie the game. Harden had the chance to win at the buzzer but missed. Just like that, we had our first overtime game of the season. In OT, it was Bradley Beal stepping up for the Suns. He scored 7 points and put him up by 2 with 15 seconds left on the clock. The same scenario. However, James Harden would choke again as he missed the second free throw.
Fire in the third. Now a chance to tie the game. In and out.
So the Clippers had to foul immediately, in which they did. After Nurkic sinking both free throws, the Clippers had another chance to tie the game. But it seemed like the Beard just couldn't handle the pressure.
Now here's Harden, and he lost the ball. He couldn't handle it, and the Suns escaped with it.
Thursday, Klay still got it. Starting in Washington, Jordan Poole was having a pool party early on, splashing everything and scoring 17 points in the first 7 minutes.
Proving that.
The question now is, how many championships can you win together?
The question now is who's going to be the third guy?
The Wizards started strong, but they were up against the best team in the NBA. Once the Celtics got going, the Wizards couldn't keep pace. Boston took the game easily, with Brown and Tatum dropping 27 and 25 points respectively. Over in Dallas, everybody was hyped for Klay Thompson's debut as a Maverick. He got his first points in just 3 minutes in, and then went on to break the record for most 3-pointers in the Mavericks debut, draining 6 out of 10 threes. It was honestly looking like prime Klay here. Luka didn't even have to look to know that the shot was going in.
Nice defense. Thompson all day to fire.
Speaking of Luka, he was having fun and toying with the Spurs. For the Spurs though, they struggled mightily, especially Wembanyama and CP3, who shot a rough 27% and 16% from the field respectively. The Sacramento Kings were looking to get their first win of the season at home with DeMar DeRozan making his debut too. Only issue was, they were facing one of the best teams in the league and the Timberwolves. Fresh off a tough loss to the Lakers, they were in no mood for mercy, especially Julius Randle, who redeemed himself by dropping 33 points and hitting 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. This game came down to the wire as they were tied up at 115 with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards got fouled on the drive and knocked down both free throws. The Kings had a shot to tie or win, but they were just a little bit unlucky. What's lucky though was the fans in the Denver Nuggets game, as they got to witness Russell Westbrook's debut. After a standing ovation, Russ proceeded to airball his first shot.
Watson is in for Denver. Westbrook lines it up. Airball.
Even though he had a rough performance, the energy he brought in the court was unmatched. However, OKC weren't here to play around. Chet was dominating on both ends of the floor, already showing improvement in just the first game into the season.
Arm of the law. Oh, look out! That's a man's chair.
SGA was out here cooking defenders as usual.
Here last year. Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, not fake. That's nasty.
The Nuggets had a miserable shooting night, going 7 for 38 from outside the line, only 18%, and Jokic was definitely frustrated about it.
I mean, we don't shoot the ball well. We are not good shooting team, I think, except Arvin, Mike, and Jamal. All of us are like kind of streaky, not streaky, but you know, just average shooters. So
Friday, a night full of surprises. The night started with star guard Trae Young going head-to-head against another star guard LaMelo Ball. Melo was absolutely lighting it up from 3 and nearly had the Player of the Year.
What do you got, LaMelo? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! He's fouled and will go to the line.
He ended up hitting 9 3-pointers, doing things you usually only see in practice. Unfortunately, all his effort wasn't enough to win him the game, as Trae Young was also having himself a night. He finished the game with 38 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. When we go over to Milwaukee, a murder just took place.
Picks off the pass, needs some help.
Giannis and Dame combined for 66 points, but the real star of the game was Kobe White, who led the Bulls to go on a run in the third quarter and ultimately upset the Bucks 133-122. On the flip side, the New Orleans Pelicans had one of the roughest games of the season so far, with Zion and B.I. scoring just 4 for 19 from the field in the first half. For the Blazers, however, Jeremy Grant was on fire, putting up 34 points with 8 threes. The Blazers were ahead the entire game until the fourth quarter, when the Pelicans finally woke up and went on a run. With the final possession in their hands, Brandon Ingram went ISO against Anthony Simons and did this.
Will he get it off in time? Yep. Makes it count! Huge by Brandon.
But to fully secure the win, they needed a stop on defense, and Zion was up to the assignment.
The other side as he tries to get there. Blocked by Herb and Zion.
Over in Salt Lake City, the Jazz fell victim to the Splash Buddies. Buddy Hield continued his hot shooting streak by dropping 27 points, draining 7 out of 9 threes in just 20 minutes. The Warriors demolished the Jazz by 40 points, with Steph Curry once again able to sit out the fourth quarter. Just like Buddy Hield, the Phoenix Suns started the game blazing hot from outside the line against the Lakers, going up by as much as 22 points in the second quarter.
Beal on another 3. Bradley Beal with 10 points in this first half.
It was looking like game over, but then the oldest man in the league, an AR-15, turned it up at the start of the third quarter, bringing it back to a 1-point game.
Ounces, Reeves lines it up and hits from 3.
Crowd, but he knows that he can erupt at any time.
Like that.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves continued to prove that he's the coldest white boy in the league, outside of Luka and Jokic of course. LeBron and AD sealed the game with a bang.
LeBron with the basketball. AD on the way.
And for the first time in 13 years, the Lakers started their season with back-to-back wins. Saturday, shit's going wild. Out in Mile High City, the MVP was going off against the Clippers, dropping 41 points and doing everything he could to will his team to a win.
Over to Jokic. He fires for 3. Yes! 3 threes.
But unfortunately, his teammates didn't show up and the Nuggets lost, leaving him 0-2 to start the season for the first time in a while. In the meantime, Cade was busy going at Derek White in Detroit.
Cade, a little show and go. Finishes with the left hand. Durant dumps it off. Good cut from Cade Cunningham, but he's blocked by...
Anthony Edwards was schooling and taunting some young Raptors up in the north.
Passing lane got the steal and finished.
Speaking of schooling, Luka was ready to teach his son Devin Booker a lesson over in Phoenix. The game stayed close, with the Mavericks trailing just behind most of the way. But in the fourth quarter, KD and Booker went off, hitting bucket after bucket, and KD even taunted Luka after this play.
KD rising up over Doncic, and he says, nothing I can do.
Despite Luka dropping 40, the Mavs ultimately fell short to the Suns. Trash talks and friendly taunts definitely add entertainment to the game. But things got a little bit more intense in the Spurs-Rockets game.
Dumping it down to Wemby. He falls. Brooks is there. Him and Brooks fighting for it. What? Dylan Brooks. And Wemby.
Dylan Brooks seemed frustrated with how good Wemby was playing, finishing with 29 points on 10 for 17 shooting. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis was looking to finally get a win against Domantas Sabonis, who he had lost to 10 straight times. Things definitely weren't easy for him though.
Here come the Kings. Oh, he put Davis in the
basket.
The Kings' big three of Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis dominated the third quarter, pushing the Kings to a 7-point lead entering the fourth. And that's when LeBron went into LeBronto mode, dropping 16 points in just 3 minutes.
Points. And he's underneath. He puts it up and in. Count it. Foul. Probably not, but he wants to for three. Yes, sir.
The Kings still got it even at almost 40 years old. And with AD hitting the dagger 3 with 30 seconds left, the Lakers secured a win and went up 3-0 starting the season. Sunday, prayers for Curry. The day started off on a funny note as Miami Heat unveiled a Dwayne Wade statue that looked nothing like him.
Like, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Who is that guy?
You could tell he was not thrilled about it. Meanwhile, the 76ers were also not thrilled after realizing they'd been cheated. But first, we gotta talk about Halliburton breaking Big Booty Lowry's ankles.
Go. Oh, yeah!
Anyways, with less than 2 minutes left in the fourth, Miles Turner put up an air ball and the Pacers snagged the offensive rebound. However, the shot clock was reset as if the ball touched the rim. Coach Nick Nurse challenged it, and after review, the ref somehow awarded the Pacers an extra 6 seconds. Fans were confused, and Nurse was furious, rightfully so. Thankfully, the 76ers still came out on top in OT, with Tyrese Maxey dropping 45 and carrying the squad. Over at the Barclays Center, Ben Simmons looked like he was reliving the nightmare from 3 years ago.
Bounces it away. Simmons shovels, gets it back. Boy, Ben Simmons just
Back this way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, it's right there. And a foul is...
All that preseason talk only to average like 5 points a game. But real shocker was the Bucks taking another L. Losing to non-contenders is a pretty alarming start. Well, I guess that's what happens when you have the 2 best coaches in your team. The Thunder, playing back-to-back, seemed tired until Shea and Chet outscored the Hawks 20-18 in the fourth quarter.
Shea used that big body screen from Holmgren. Holds up on the baseline. That's a shot.
Good decisions when he has the basketball.
SGA ended with 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists, almost a triple-double, and OKC joined the Celtics, Lakers, and Cavs with a 3-0 season start. Finally, tragedy hit Bay Area as Steph Curry rolled his ankle twice in the game against the Clippers, heading to the locker room.
Watch his left ankle again. Yeah, just rolled it again.
Same one.
Same one.
Some attention and some assistance right there.
It's honestly tough to see so many injuries just 1 week into the season. I wish everyone a speedy recovery. Going back to the game, Harden and Zubac were too much for the Warriors defense, and they fell 104 to 112. Things are heating up and it's only the first week of the season. We're seeing wild highlights and stranger news every day. Speaking of wild stories, check out what went down with the 2021 Brooklyn Nets team right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay gooning.